Hey everybody, Jay the Fish Guy here. Welcome back for episode 2 of the bank tank. So, last episode we modified the hood, we got in some new LED lighting that should be up to snuff for having some LPS and some softies in there. So today's episode we're going to go through and I'll describe the filtration, what little it has, and we're going to get some sand in there, get some rock in there, get some water, and get things rolling. So stay tuned. Okay, so filtration on this setup is pretty basic. In this far right chamber, all the way from pretty much top to bottom, is a very, very large foam block. So that takes care of your mechanical pre-filtration. It does become biologically alive eventually. Great to have, because, you know, you can't stress enough, even in these smaller systems, the importance of mechanical filtration that gets cleaned regularly. And that could be as much as once a week. Once every couple weeks. It depends on your system, but you know, getting all the food and detritus and everything else out through the means of mechanical filtration is your first step to prevent things like nitrates, phosphates, and just general algae issues. So keeping up on your mechanical filtration is definitely key. So that's awesome that we have such a large brick of foam in there. Next chamber over, we're going to do some biological and some chemicals. So, like I said in the last video, this had a whole bunch of the Sarah Cyperax we're going to have for biological media. And then I'll end up using just a mesh bag of some carbon in there as well for some chemical filtration. Next chamber over has got a heater. This is one of the Fluval units. Not bad. I haven't really ever had any issues with them. They're pretty cool. The light up display will go blue if it's cold and is heating. Will go red if it's a little too warm, and kind of gives you a visual indicator if you were running it in the tank. We're going to be running it in the back so we don't see it, because obviously in a nano tank space is at a premium. But a decent unit. I haven't really ever had any fail on me, which if you've watched my heater issues video, you know that these are one of the biggest items in your Reef or in your tanks in general that are prone to failure. So to say that I really have never run into any issues with a Fluval heater is saying something. These and the Eheims have been pretty steady for me. So that'll go in this chamber here. The last chamber is just the pump chamber. We're going to stick with the stock Sarah pump that it came with. It seems pretty decent as far as the specs go. Only uses 9.5 watts, so it's, you know, nice little energy efficient pump. So that gets put in this chamber here and connects to the spray bar, which is kind of nice that it's not just a jet. It kind of moves a little bit more water around in different areas, more of getting the whole body of water moving rather than just a jet. I've also got a Coralia Nano power head. I think it's the 425 gallon per hour unit. We're going to put that in here for a little bit extra flow as well. So I'm going to get the Cyperax in a media bag. I'm going to get the carbon in the media bag. I got some sand and some rock downstairs. Maybe I'll take a little quick video of that. Downstairs isn't really super clean and friendly. I'm guilty of just not having enough time, and it's not really meant for the public. But maybe I can catch a couple of quick videos of what I got kicking around down there. So yeah, we'll get the sand in there, get the rock in there, and start filling up with some water. Alright, so here I have a rock holding vat. This is one of the classic Rubbermaid stock tanks. This one's the 100 gallon. And it's pretty much filled top to bottom, left to right, front to back with live rock. Yes, I know some of it's out of the water. It just gets to the point where I have so much. And a lot of that is from, you know, I do a couple of orders of rock here and there. You know, I have some extra. And then over the year, you know, I'll have people that are like, well, I'm just looking to break down a tank, or I'm looking to get rid of some rock. I just got too much in there, whatever. And I just end up acquiring more rock. And then it just gets to the point where I just have more than I need and more than I sell, really. It's summertime. I don't have too many people setting up new setups, so I tend to have an excess of live rock during the summer. So this is where I'm going to be pulling some pieces of rock from. A lot of them are bigger from larger systems, but I think I got enough smaller pieces tucked in there that we'll be able to find something. A little quick view of some of my other stuff I have down here before anybody says anything. Yes, I know all these freshwater tanks are plumbed into this saltwater vat. That's because at one point in time I had these tanks as saltwater holding tanks as well. Just at the moment I had some fish donated to me that I had to set things up as freshwater and get things... It's kind of a holding system for freshwater fish. Everything's always constantly changing around down here, depending on my needs and what I got going on at the time. So nothing too fancy, but so rock. I've got some sand and a couple of tanks down here that I had saved for, again, when those tanks were saltwater tanks. So I'm going to use some of that and some of this rock, and we'll get up and running. Alright, so time for the sand, the rock, and the water. As a lot of you probably have seen on my previous videos, I don't really like to use a lot of sand if I use any, so this is just a bare bones minimal layer. As far as the rock goes, I'm probably going to do a whole nother episode just on how to stack your rock. I know it sounds silly, but there's small little things that can be done that actually helps contribute to good flow through the system and to help prevent the buildup of detritus. But a little quick surmise is just fewest points of contact on the actual sand bed as possible, and then build your rock structure up from there. And just don't make it a dense, solid wall of rock. Alright guys, so we got sand, we got rock, we got water. I'm just going to finish up with my plugs in back to get the pump running and put the power head in there and let it sit for a few days. I got a couple of fish and a couple of corals I'm going to toss in there. I'm going to make you guys wait till part 3 to see what goes in. From the day that I'm shooting this video, I have a week before it has to go into the bank. So I'm hoping that by I used some new water, some old water to help get the cycle going. The sand was still damp from when I had used it prior, so with any luck that's still somewhat biologically alive. And of course the live rock, which has been tanked and cured for a very long time, is all biologically alive. So with any luck I won't really get any algae blooms or any cycling, and this will be just nice and pretty and ready to go. The rock structure is obviously going to change once I get it in the bank, because I got to tear everything down and put it back up again, but should be pretty close. Alright guys, that does it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you next time.